Thursday, February 19th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. And our big story currently is brutally cold air across the region. I again this morning have a ton to discuss with you in today's edition of the video. Let me run down a few weather headlines. The coldest period of weather overall, say a 48 to 60 hour period that we've had here in a number of years across the Carolinas. Brutally cold air, in fact dangerously cold conditions, temperatures and wind chills in many spots today, tonight, and on into Friday morning as well. And there are some precip chances for some of us as we get into Saturday. I'll detail that as the video unfolds. Now these are current actual air temperatures during the 5 a.m. hour. No wind factored in here. 12 in Greensboro. It's 1 below in Boone, 15 in Charlotte, 16 in Greenville, and South Carolina and in Raleigh. Now these are the winds. It's pretty breezy out there. Occasionally some gusts upwards of 20 miles per hour early this morning. And that means our wind chill values look like this. 24 degrees below zero for a wind chill in Boone. Most of the Triad viewing area is below zero for a wind chill. Actually at zero right now at the PTI Airport. Charlotte reporting a wind chill of 3. 4 in Greenville, Spartanburg, 9 in Raleigh and Greenville. Yeah, it is very, very cold this morning. For that reason, a wind chill advisory in effect for all of the foothills, the Piedmont over toward the coast as well. Up in the mountains, it's a wind chill warning. Speaking of the mountains, there's Banner Elk, courtesy of resortcams.com. The actual air temperature there in Banner Elk, 11 below zero with a current wind chill of 25 below zero. These are unbelievably cold conditions in place this morning. These are the actual air temperatures in many mountain spots. 3 below in Highlands. It's 0 in Cherokee. 4 below at Justin Station. Black Mountain reporting 3 below. 5 below there at Beach Mountain. 1 below in West Jefferson. 2 below in Blowing Rock. All right, there's the radar across the region. All is quiet now, but we did indeed see that batch of some snow showers pivot through the region anywhere from late morning into the afternoon hours yesterday, and that continued to work eastward from there. And this behaved about as expected. We saw a little burst of some heavier snow in a few spots, and the ground did get whitened in some areas, and that was along the Arctic front as that moved on through. Behind the front, very, very cold and extremely dry air has taken over across the region. High temperatures today. There they are. Now, a few of these numbers, such as the South Carolina cities on this particular map, these are model-driven numbers, so those numbers are probably too high. But again, across North Carolina, going 17 for high in Greensboro. Lows coming up as we get into tonight. Actually, let me fix this graphic for you. There we go. Try that again. These are low temperatures tonight. Unbelievably cold out there, and the wind still stirring around a bit, so wind chill values tonight back down below zero in many spots, and a lot of us single digits at best for wind chills today. There's your highs tomorrow. Warmer than today, but still very, very cold. Most of North Carolina continues to be sub-freezing all day tomorrow as well. Now we get to Saturday. Low pressure over the Ozarks early Saturday morning. And any precipitation we see during the day Saturday will be driven by this warm front as it approaches. Now initially we have some very cold and very dry air in place. And so any precipitation that can make it into western South Carolina, at least, and on into most of North Carolina Saturday, would likely be in the form of wintry precipitation. Here's the North American model representation. You notice, though, for a lot of the day Saturday, that precipitation stays confined to areas north and west of Interstate 85. And then by the time the precip gets into the rest of the region, temperatures will have warmed. I'll show you that in more detail here in just a second. Before I get into the upcoming wintry precip chances, though, let me talk about temperatures once again very quickly. This is from the 0Z run of the GFS. These are low temperatures coming up. High temperatures this afternoon. You notice a lot of teens across the Piedmont, maybe the southern Piedmont, the Sandhills trying to break 20. And then here we go tonight. That is the Arctic area of high pressure centered over West Virginia and Kentucky, building right overhead here through the Carolinas. And so there's the GFS low temperatures tonight. The European is in pretty good agreement, although it's a couple ticks warmer on the European in some spots. But you still have the GFS insisting that the foothills in the northwest Piedmont there down to around Winston-Salem dip below zero. I'm going 1 for a low in Greensboro, maybe 0 in Winston-Salem. I do think parts of the Triad and even maybe some of the colder spots around the Triangle region as well have a chance of dipping below 0 for those air temperatures. And these are the wind chill values, still really cold around daybreak tomorrow, well below 0. Some of us in the Piedmont colder than 10 below 0 at times for wind chill values early tomorrow morning. All right, now let's get into this next system. We'll stick with the GFS first. This is Saturday morning, and then you see that precipitation moving into the northwestern parts of the state Saturday as we get into early afternoon, and then temperatures continue to warm so that by Saturday night and Sunday morning, it's all rain. Okay, let me see here, and then that front pushes through thereafter. Let me go through this current system first. Okay, let's go to the Canadian model. That's what it looks like for the precipitation through the morning hours Saturday into early afternoon, right there. And the European model, let me see, I've got that stuck in here somewhere. I guess I didn't stick it in there, but let me show you the NAM representation quickly here. There's what the NAM looks like by daybreak Saturday. And this is the 6C run of the NAM, by the way. And then as you go through Saturday morning, pretty good little bursts of precipitation filling across most of the Carolinas. Now the NAM, the North American model here, is by a pretty wide margin the wettest model here across the state during the day Saturday, and it also presses the precipitation much further east during the day Saturday than most other modeling does. So my idea at the moment here is that I do think areas maybe right in here, somewhere thereabouts, probably see some wintry precip during the day Saturday. It's just going to be a question of how far east the precipitation can get, but especially the northwest Piedmont, especially say Winston-Salem and then back into the northern foothills, pretty good chance of seeing at least a little bit of snow and sleet for a period of time Saturday, but we'll see how that plays out. Now again, the NAM was pretty aggressive with bringing that precipitation in, so you have some big snow totals north and west of Interstate 85 or so during the day Saturday, but again, it is the furthest east and the wettest of the various computer models. There's the UK Met solution, and I think that's pretty close to reality. I'm going something like that for the general idea in terms of Saturday. Now we get into Sunday, again, it's just rain with a cold frontal passage. Now here's Monday on the GFS. Some clouds, maybe a little sprinkle or a flurry, but that's about it. But a different story here on some of the other modeling here. Let me show you what it looks like first of all on the European model. This is valid Monday, and in some spots there around I-40 and north, that's a little bit of snow, and then you continue to see some snow chances with a coastal low pressure on Tuesday. That's Tuesday evening. Now you look at the GFS model at the same time, and it's suppressed and out to sea. But every other major model basically shows a chance of some precipitation Tuesday. The European shows that scenario. The UK Met shows that scenario. The Canadian model shows that scenario as well. Let me see. I stuck that chart in here. This is valid Tuesday morning on the Canadian. And you see that wintry precip across the region. So, in terms of Monday and Tuesday of next week, again, there is the precipitation through the weekend, and again, I think the Canadian model doing a pretty good job, much like the UK Met, with the area of maybe some wintry precip Saturday, and then you get out to Tuesday, and this is through Wednesday morning, so you have the snow that already occurred over the weekend, and then you add some more snow to that down to the I-85 corridor or thereabouts, and that would be with the next system, Monday into Tuesday, that a lot of the modeling has, minus the GFS. And then more fun and games continue. Check this out. This is the Canadian model valid out next Saturday. So this is 9 days from now. But the Canadian model has a healthy looking system. The European model has a pretty decent looking system around the 28th. And guess what? The GFS does too. This is the GFS representation. This is the morning of Saturday the 28th, and you see a big winter storm occurring across the region. I show this just for giggles. You can see the big snow totals the GFS model puts out there, and the Canadian model really goes nuts. Let's see, I don't think I put the right chart in there, but either way, the modeling certainly Oh yeah, that is the correct chart there. You can see the Canadian really prints out some snow. The storm's just beginning on the Canadian. And so, there are a lot of indications there as you get toward the end of next week for maybe a more widespread winter storm chance, but that's a long way off. A lot can certainly change between now and then. But the bottom line is it stays pretty chilly, and we'll see what happens with the Monday and especially Tuesday system, and then maybe another one late next week to keep an eye on too. All right, that is it for today's edition of the video. Everybody bundle up, stay warm. This is dangerous cold, and God bless.